Welcome. You are listening to The Hair Appointment, covering all things hair, skin, and nails for all shades of brown women. You are definitely tuned in to the Sister Speak Show Network. I am your host, Sister Speak. Welcome. The Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action, a talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Sister, spiritual inspiration shared through the arts. Sister, spiritual inspiration shared through Ayana. But you better call me Sister Speak. Welcome back to my faithful listeners, and welcome to my first-time listeners. The Sister Speak Show is rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. Two things that you will need when always listening to the Sister Speak Show network in totality. You're going to need water and scuba gear. Water because your body is made up of 75 to 95% of water. You need it for healing, cleansing, clarity, period. And I heard if you throw it on a witch, it'll melt. Scuba gear is self-contained underwater breathing apparatus because we dive into leagues of the sea that are going to require you to be equipped. We don't want you to drown, and we want you to be able to sustain the elements that we will be diving into via our conversation. The time, 9:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. The place, Dallas, Texas. The hostess, Sister Speak. The wonderful listening audience, you, for sure. This is going to be the second episode for the hair appointment. The hair appointment, Sister Speak, we've been focusing on probably about 2 or 3 of your segments, a lot lately. We're really excited about this one, right? I know that's what you're saying. So just to give you just a little backdrop on the hair appointment, I'm going to play a clip for you, and then I'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere because this clip is for you. You added us to the flavor in your ear. We're a part of your podcast shuffle. We're in this to win this. So just hold tight and I'll be right back. It's always time to podcast and chill with the Sister Speak Show. We want to be the flavor in your ear. That's why we added a new segment, The Hair Appointment, focusing on hair, skin, and nails, with tips, products, and wisdom. We were covering this topic on the Upgrade and in the Speak Sister Speak mobile magazine. On the hair appointment, we will embrace, we will learn, we will refrain, and we will embody our crown because our hair is our crown and glory, and we must protect it. We can't allow any type of damage or lack of wisdom to be the reason why we lose our crown. It's time for the glow up and to express yourself in a high vibration. Why not? Thank you for podcasting and chilling with the Sister Speak Show. The platform is no longer a part of the Sister Speak network. Welcome back. Now that you know what the hair appointment is all about, are you in? I know you are. Well, listen, this episode is serious because it is pretty much applicable to about 98% of the women in the world that are all shades of brown. Listen, this episode is needed and informative, okay? So let's get into it. On tonight's episode of The Hair Appointment, 911, after the nail appointment, allergic reactions and infections, plus how long is too long? Guinness Book World Records for nail length. It is amazing. I'm telling you, this segment is interesting. So let's go ahead and get into it. Have a wonderful time, and let's learn together. This episode, as all episodes, is for fair use under the Copyright Act of 1976 for educational purposes only. Not necessarily edutainment, but if you find it in that category, I pretty much would understand. for educational purposes only, for my sisters in the village, for them to raise awareness about the things that can take place after the appointment, the nail appointment, and how to protect their nail beds, their hands, their health when it comes to visiting a salon and dealing with certain chemicals and procedures to make your hands look good. You know, you like to show your nails off. You love a good polish. You love a good manicure. You like for your nails to be oval. Some of you like for them to be squared off. You know, there's even some people who like for their nails to look like claws. There's some people who have, you know, several inches of nails. Some people prefer to be extra short. Some people like to do it at home. You know, there is a experience for every sister when it comes to their journey with their nails. And although wanting to look great, wanting to be pretty, you know, there's definitely nothing wrong with that. And although that is something that many women strive to achieve, we still cannot be, you know, ignorant about the dangers of the allergic reactions and the infections when it comes to visiting a nail salon and just having anything touching our hands. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into it. Have a wonderful time. These audio clips, once again, are for fair use only. Okay, we'll be stopping to converse because, you know, you can't play everything all the way through. Want to stick to the guidelines and have a wonderful time. Are you pressing through? How you maintaining? What's the vibes? Are you establishing your boundaries? Are you making sure that your yes is yes and your no is no? Are you procrastinating? I hope not. Are you tackling that clutter? I hope so. How's your diet? How's your water intake? Are you still celibate? Are you abstaining from the things that you know are going to set you back a few days? Are you comfortable with yourself being single? Are you okay with your healing? I'm just checking on you because I care about you, listening audience. It goes so deep with my connection with you all. I want to make sure that you are standing your ground and making sure that you also are comfortable with who you are and that you are okay with a glow up. You're okay with progressing in a glow up the natural way. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with wisdom at all. When you shun wisdom, it can, what can happen is you can be ambushed later on with some situations that if you would have just listened or applied, that you would have been less likely to endure what's coming your way. Beauty is serious for many women, and sometimes some sisters are willing to go to the highest level of risk factors when it comes to being pretty, being beautiful, being gorgeous, getting attention, you know, receiving looks of admiration, being selected as the it girl, you know, the whole, I don't subscribe to it, but the whole bad bitch era. There is something called class. There is something called integrity. There is something called dignity. There is something called a je ne sais quoi, you know. No, but there is something called an essence of beauty. And there is something called substance. And if you want to radiate, I mean, if you really want to glow, it is an internal maintenance as well. Internal maintenance, okay? It is an internal beautification of clearing and cleansing in order to cultivate the palette, the canvas that you want to exude before people. And it's not about what they think. That is you know, a secondary benefit, if that. But it's the initial understanding that You are pleased with your righteous, organic, natural approach to being a beautiful woman, knowing that it is hand in hand with the fruits of the Spirit in your character. But if we're so quick to jump the gun, if we're so quick to just subscribe to something that hasn't been tested, hasn't been proven, hasn't been approved, that you have not gotten the yes on, then you can't throw caution to the wind. You have to be willing to say, you know what, let me pump the brakes on this and let me see if this is the route I want to go for this or for that. How voluptuous am I trying to inorganically be? Who am I really trying to impress? Once I get this, or once I apply this, or once I spray this, now what? Then what? How so are you to navigate with this extra thing that you are not mentally equipped to handle, which might be why it wasn't given to you in the way that you want to have it come from you or be a part of you. It's not innate, it's not organic, it's forced. And we don't want to force regimens of beauty based on society's standards and neglect the fact that there may be some underlying dangers that could affect our health. The last thing you want to do is lose a limb. You don't want your face to fall off. You're not looking for your hands to fall off. You're not looking for your bottom cheeks to fall off and harden up on you and ultimately poison you and shift around. That's not the goal of beauty. Now you're in an ace bandage in a wheelchair up against it with an IV, a JV, a KV, a MV, you got all the V's because you're up against it because your body has had an adverse reaction to your desire to be beautiful. And if we can throw out as much wisdom as we can through podcasts and other forms of preventative medicine, then we are helping. It's not hating. So many sisters, when they are approached with, wisdom, caution, pamphlets, documentaries, they get an attitude. It's like, why are you getting an attitude? You the one that needs to be rescued. You the one that's up against it. And all we're doing, because this is the village mentality to love, is we're saying, hey, sis, this isn't the way. Look what's happening. Look at what happened to this sister. How many examples do sisters have to be? It can't always be that somebody's hating on you when they want to see you healed, when they don't want to see you hurting, when they don't want to have to see yet another GoFundMe page because of a trip to a country for a beauty experiment that went wrong. Whether it be in country or out country, we're talking about 911 after the nail appointment, allergic reactions and infections. That's what we're speaking about. I got some good audio clips for you, part 1 and part 2, and we're going to go ahead and get into it. I want you to look at your nails right now. Right now, just look at your nails. What condition are your nails in? Are you satisfied with the look of your nails? Do your nails define you? Is this the first thing that people see when you walk into the room? Do you bite your nails? Is there dirt up underneath your fingernails? I'm just asking. Are you into press-on nails? When's the last time you went and got a feel? Is there anything green lurking underneath your fingernails? Any fungus growing? Any rashes, any blisters? I'm just asking. Check out your fingers. And if you know like I know, back in the day when I was wearing acrylics, when you break your nail or when it splits in that middle, that is a pain like none other. and you're trying to glue it back. You're trying to put some peroxide down there. And if you old school like me, a little mercurochrome, and you're trying to bandage it up. But ultimately, there is damage to your nail bed. And if it gets wet, that's just a breeding ground for the fungus. We didn't get into it, Hey, I didn't go to cosmetology school. I didn't. But I've lived life, and I'm living life, and I have experiences just like you. Let's get into it, all right? Well, let me see. We'll be right back after this commercial breaks, and then we'll get into the clips. Thank you for being a wonderful listening audience. The time is 2 minutes after 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Dallas, Texas is about 71 degrees. Real cool, real breezy, real still, real nice. I love it. You like it? Let's do it. Sister Speak, you must have had something to eat before you started recording. Did. Just absolutely did. 911 after the nail appointment, allergic reactions and infections, plus how long is too long, highlighting nail length world records on the hair appointment, focusing on hair, skin, and nails for all shades of brown women on the Sister Speak Show. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. Thank you for letting us be the flavor in your ear and for adding us to your podcast shuffle. When traveling, people have choices, whether it's by plane, train, ferry, taxi, or even the bus. However you choose to travel, you're expecting your experience to be incident and accident-free. You're not expecting to have to encounter any type of crime or even murder. However, as of late, that's not the case. There are communities that are being plagued by people who have no moral compass. Bus rides are not safe, and people are really questioning if this should be their mode of transportation. Next on the Suspense Files, the bus stop murders when tragedy strikes public transportation, plus party bus nightmares. Brothers and sisters, repeat after me. There's no need to chase, only to embrace. The first episode of The Hair Appointment on the Sister Speak Show is available on demand now, rated R for strong content, language, and thoughts. Episode 1, TLC. Don't go chasing follicles. Please, stick to the textures and the melanin that you're used to. On The Hair Appointment, we're covering all aspects of hair, skin, and nails for all shades of brown people in the village. Click the link for the latest episode, where you can get tips, products, and wisdom on the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. It's time to podcast and chill. The Sister Speak Show wants to be with you on the go. It's simple. Just add us to your podcast shuffle so we can be the flavor in your ear. You'll be glad that you did. We are rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas, but I know you know that already. Thank you in advance for downloading and for being a wonderful listening audience.
Vision, sound, action, create, inspire, impact, evolve. You are now activated.
Let's go!
Welcome back. You are listening to The Hair Appointment on the Sister Speak Show. That background song is by The City, Pretty Girls. I thought that would be ever so appropriate for the wonderful, beautiful women that are listening to this podcast, don't you think? I got y'all, sisters. We encourage over here. I'm a believer in the Most High God and His Son, Yahweh Shai. Let me let y'all know that. I know I'm an Israelite, okay? With that being said, you got to understand, I'm for the village. I'm about picking up I'm about solutions for the pollutions, picking up the litter and putting it in the trash. So let's get into it. And we are going to definitely make sure that our sisters are vibrating above the Babylonian standards of beauty, that they are undoing the psychological damage that has been done on their outer appearance. We're going to get into it. Let's do it. Without further ado, we're going to go into these clips. This is going to be the part one of 911 after the nail appointment, allergic reactions and infections. Let's do it.
Warts, vile nail fungus, even serious staph infections.
When your nail salon and techs don't follow the rules, they're putting you at risk. So, before you book your next pedicure or manicure, NBC4 investigator Tom Susi joins us with a report you need to see. Tom?
Hey, Mike and Colleen. Treating conditions like warts can be very painful and very expensive. Tonight, I'm going to show you how you can reduce the odds of contracting that sort of stuff. Take a look.
I'm a mom. Sometimes it's nice to do things for you.
Rachel Maddox looks forward to her manicures and pedicures.
I get my nails done probably every 2 weeks. Kind of makes you feel like a princess. My nail was black.
An ugly duckling. That's how Rosanna Ridgway felt days after her experience last summer at another nail salon in town. When Rosanna removed the polish off her nails to apply some fresh polish, she couldn't believe her eyes.
Like a crusty kind of
Yep.
Rosanna snapped this picture of her big toe after her nail fell off.
It hurt like heck.
Dr. Allison Himes works for a dermatologist of Greater Columbus.
Bacteria, viruses, and fungus can all be transmitted if the instruments are not sanitized.
Dr. Himes gave us these pictures. Check them out. They're warts. Warts, Dr. Himes says, likely came from dirty instruments.
Sometimes it takes 6 or more months to get rid of warts. Yeah.
6 or more months to get rid of warts?
Yes, and it can be a painful process.
Nail salons and techs are required to be licensed through the State Cosmetology and Barber Board. But not all nail salons follow the rules. Here are 4 things you could do to take matters into your own hands. Number 1, look for this blue liquid called barbicide. Nail techs use it to disinfect their instruments. 2, Whirlpool tubs should be clean and sanitized between clients. 3, give your salon a good visual inspection. It should be free of dust, dirt, and nail clippings, unlike the salons in these pictures provided to us by the state. Lastly, if you're not sure your nail salons and techs are licensed, ask to see their credentials. Your attention to detail could be the difference between going home with the nails of a princess or an ugly duckling. Now, if you want to see if your salons and techs are licensed or ever faced any sort of...
Started off with the truth, didn't we? Got right to it. Warts. Black nails. Nail beds falling off due to completely unsanitary conditions, probably a few other ingredients, and it's a recipe for disaster. I don't know about you. I don't have time for my toenails to be falling off in my socks. That's got to be a very uncomfortable feeling, wouldn't you say? Here you are thinking you are just so hot, just the it girl. You are the one. And then all the while, your toenails, they're gone. Jump ship, leaped, over, gone. All because of unsanitary conditions. And all you wanted to do was just be pretty. You wanted to get your feet done. It's been a long week, and depending on, and I know we're talking about, obviously, we're talking about allergic reactions and infections. You wanted to get your feet done and you wanted to look good. The bottom of your feet, sounded like a Brillo pad. You were just really, your tax return hit and you was ready. And the next thing you know, here you are fighting for your life in the medic clinic or at CVS and their little outpatient thing that they have. Or maybe you're even going to the Google hospital. What's the Google hospital? Where you go on Google and try to figure it the fuck out. What is this bump? Last thing you want to be playing is what is this bump? Oh no, not what is this bump. And you don't want anybody else to be trying to figure out what is that bump on your hand. That's the last vibe you want to exude is bumpy hands. Bumpy hands. And it's a wart. We're talking about a serious virus. A wart is a virus. So what is not going on at these particular nail salons is cleanliness. Okay? And sometimes, although it may be convenient to go there, you have to be willing to drive a little further into town sometimes. You may have to take that trip a little downtown to a better nail salon in order to get top tier service and, a place where they have their credentials on the wall and you see the barber side and so on. I'm telling you, if people start playing what's that bump with you, nobody's gonna invite you around. Nobody's gonna want you to cook. Nobody's gonna want to eat. Nobody's gonna want to hold your hand. You hear what I'm saying to you? You're gonna have to start wearing gloves. All because you just wanted to get your nails done. You know how sisters do it. Ugh, what's that bump? Bumps get questions.
Disciplinary action. I posted the link to the Ohio State Cosmetology and Barber Board on our webpage at NBC4i.com.
That kind of creeped me out as someone who gets their nails done all the time.
You were twitching.
Yeah.
Next time they be like, "You have boyfriend? You better start saying, do you have barbicide?"
I was like, oh. So how often do they inspect these salons?
You're not going to believe this. These salons are only required by law to be inspected once every 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why it's important that you do your due diligence and your homework.
Do you know the amount of crust that can build up in 2 years? The amount of soot and yuck and bacteria and grossness that can accumulate in 2 years? We're talking about 24 months. That's a long time. And don't let the shop be open 7 days a week. Oh, we got this. All we got to do is just spray a little pine sol mist in the air. They come usually around this time, sweep up a little bit, smile, offer them, a little snack or something, get the Board of Health and Human Services, out of here because, this is what we do. We just spray a little Clorox mist. That's it. Just a little mist. Make them think we clean. You know what I mean? Actually sweep up, hide a couple of things that ain't supposed to be in here. Shut that back room up back there that's got some, people back there that shouldn't be back there. Yeah, we got this. We got this.
And do your own inspection, sort of, right?
Right. When you find someplace you trust, go back to the same place, I guess.
Absolutely. Or do what you do.
I've never had a problem.
Yeah, you got a secret.
No, I don't have a secret. I wish I had a secret.
What's the secret? What type of laugh is that? That's one of those, oh, yes, you do have a secret. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't have a secret. Yes, you do. Wait a minute.
All right, well, let's face it, as women, we love being pampered, right? And getting our nails done is one part of that. But as Elise Coulter tells us tonight in our special report, all that beauty can come at a painful price. Elise.
Deborah, well, I know I love getting my nails done, but when you're at the salon, you have to pay attention to what's going on around you, because if you don't, something could go terribly wrong. Ask just about any female.
I like the way it looks, absolutely.
About getting their nails filed, crimped, and painted, no matter what their age, and their answer will be similar.
I love my nails being done. I feel put together when they're done.
17-year-old Haley Oda gets her nails done, but only for special occasions just a few times a year, and only uses shellac, never acrylic, because her mom is cautious.
Of course, you hear the horror stories of people, getting infections and the nail fungus.
And I could see the streak of infection.
That's exactly what happened to this woman. We're concealing her identity per her request, but she tells us she went to her usual nail salon for her appointment to get her acrylic nails filled in, but soon after noticed something was wrong.
And about a week later, I realized my thumb is on fire, and it hurts, and it's swollen, and it's red. And I showed my doctor, and she's like, that's an infection.
She went back to the salon to have the acrylic nail removed.
And we took the acrylic nail off, and as she's trying to take the acrylic nail off, pus is coming out of the top of my nail.
Now her nail looks like this, and she fears it might not change. Do you think it'll grow back perfectly fine?
Well, I'm afraid I don't know. Yeah, that's a very good question. I don't know.
You just have to stop getting the artificial nails applied. We have to often cut the nails back and let it hopefully reattach. Or rarely you have to have the nail completely removed and let a whole new nail regrow.
Dr. Matt Bako says he often sees patients with nail issues because of fake nails.
Nail cosmetics are obviously becoming extremely popular of women of all ages. And we often see nails lifting off the skin, which is probably the most common thing that we see.
When the fake nail lifts, it can lead to other issues.
You have an opening now for bacteria and fungus, and they love that environment, and that would be a secondary complication from your nail lifting.
In order to prevent that, they need to come back between 2 to 3 weeks.
Pat Din is the owner of Ohio Cosmo Beauty Academy in Springfield and has been working in the nail business for nearly 20 years and makes sure his students are properly trained.
How's Molly doing? You getting your manicure done?
Yes.
That's beautiful. There's diseases such as hepatitis B can be transmitted if you don't sanitize the implement or nail tech tools properly.
There's another danger Din warns his students about.
Some nail techs out there that they use the buffer too much, or they use the drill to remove the shine, and sometimes some of them go too much on the real nails, and that can make the natural nails weak.
Din also doesn't recommend anyone under the age of 16 getting fake nails.
Their natural nails they're not strong enough to or if they decide to wear that for a while, it can thin the nails.
And now going through what she has and possibly losing a thumbnail, a word of advice.
The acrylics are just wicked hard on them. So I think it's good to let your nails breathe. Be natural for a while.
The dermatologist we spoke to says it's a good idea no matter what you put on your nails to let them be natural for a few weeks several times a year. And we even dug a little further. The lines, the specks, and the ridges on your nails can tell you something about your health. To find out about that story, head to our website, abc22now.com. Jack.
Now, I know some of you are like, Sister Speak. Been listening to your audio clips, and all I've been hearing is valley voices. Well, listen. Some of the clips that I have for the hair appointment, our sisters are more so on the pop-off end of things, how stuff went left at the nail shop, and that's just not where we're going this evening. So I want you to listen to the wisdom of the fact that some of you all do go to the nail salon. You have had some of these very same treatments. You might have had some of these very same concerns. And it is to raise awareness. So listen to the wisdom, not the valley voice.
Deborah, back to you.
Simple as getting your nails done could cause you harm in the long run.
That's right. A recent study by the American Academy of Dermatology says UV lamps used to dry certain manicures may lead to skin cancer.
13 News Now reporter Allie Weatherton breaks down the threat doctors are warning about.
We with just a quick dab of paint. Getting your nails done can boost your confidence. Just ask Z Worstel.
I loved it because it always looked good, it lasted forever, and I see the appeal.
She's talking about the gel manicure. It's more durable. It lasts longer than regular polish with the help of a UV or LED lamp.
I was addicted and I got it done every 2 weeks.
And every 2 weeks, Worstel slid her hands under the lamp for several minutes.
Which are stronger than the sun. We wear sunscreen when we go out into the sun, but yet we're still willing to stick our nails and our feet under these lights.
But in 2015, she got a wake-up call.
I had early stage breast cancer that a couple of years ago, and it kind of made me wonder, what am I doing in my body? What am I putting in my body?
She also wondered if that UV or LED light could cause other cancers like basal cell, squamous cell, or melanoma.
It really depends on how much ultraviolet A light it emits. And there are some lamps that emit a lot higher concentration and some lower. So it's hard to equate it exactly because it depends on the light source.
EVMS dermatologist Edward Prodanovich says a report by the American Academy of Dermatology explains that getting a simple gel polish could cause skin cancer, but it's not conclusive.
No, there's no proof. We just know that this type of ultraviolet light can cause cancer, and we know for sure it'll cause photo damage. So we're extrapolating that data to what we see with the gel manicures and the use of the ultraviolet light.
He warns if you have a genetic condition or sensitive skin, you should be very careful.
Bring them down a little bit.
He also recommends if you're going to continue getting gel manicures, take steps to prevent skin damage.
Those Lee press-on nails starting to look better and better, huh? Those Lee press-on nails. Yep. Letting your nail breathe is starting to sound like a pretty good suggestion, wouldn't you think? This is serious because if you've ever had acrylics, you know what your nails have looked like when you take them off and how you have to soak them and all that other type of stuff. And it's just really a lot that goes in. And and also some people, they know that they need to go every 2 weeks. They know that they need to feel. They know that this is a lifestyle that needs to be maintained when it comes to getting your nails done. But sometimes laziness kicks in and they don't feel like sitting down and getting their nails done. They just simply don't feel like going. Or their tax return didn't hit. They kept checking the Where's My Refund website over and over again, checking their tax transcripts, trying to see if there was any movement. They kept checking whatever banking system they used for their direct deposit to see if it had hit, because they said it was supposed to be direct deposited on this day. They checked out all kind of forums talking about where's my refund because they just wanted to know. So maybe they couldn't get to the shop because they was trying to, the tax return didn't hit. And then they found out that they had to verify their identity in order to, get some processing going on their tax return. And they've sitting here waiting the whole time. And the whole time they got to do what they got to do to verify their identity in order to enter a control number so they can be processed. Am I speaking to anybody out there?
Even if you wore gloves and you cut the fingertips off, that may help. But I think the sunscreens and those new photoprotective gloves would be very, very helpful.
We checked a local nail salon in Norfolk. Lotus J-Spa nail educator Vung Ho says he doesn't believe the gel manicure is harmful. But if you are concerned about the light, there's a new technique called the dip nail. Ho says the powder is a scientific formula filled with vitamin E and calcium.
The dip, we don't use any UV lamp to cure the nail, not at all. They have 4 steps. So after we done everything, we use the number 4, which is the finish gel. Apply it on, let it air dry. 2-3 minutes, it's done. And the nails just lasts through 2 or 3 weeks and shiny all the time.
While it seems like a good alternative, Worcester found something.
Are your nails shiny all the time? Are you able to maintain that sheen and that luster on your nails all the time? I'm just asking. How's your French manicure looking? Is it still white or is it a little yellow? just asking, just not even for a friend, just for a village. Like, what's the current condition?
Else that works for her.
We found these nails that are 95% dry nail polish that you just press on, and we found them at a craft show. This woman was just demonstrating them, and I loved them.
And she says she'll do anything to make sure her body doesn't have to tackle cancer again.
I don't want to do it again. Yeah, I mean, it's horrible. It's scary, and it just disrupts your life.
And she hopes you listen to Dr. Prodanovich and take the steps to protect your skin. In Norfolk, Allie Weatherton, 13 News Now.
Now, I know that, of course, with the Lee press-on nails, with the adhesive nails, with the, fake nails, that you have to be very careful too, It's not the same. Well, I mean, there are people who are able to apply the nails really well and make them last for 2 weeks and things like that. But for those of you who put a dab of glue, press it on, and don't even hold it for the 30 seconds that they'd be telling you to hold it on for, where's your nail now? Do you know where it is? It popped off somewhere. You don't even know. The worst is when you don't even know when it fell off. Here you are thinking you are it. Can't nobody tell you nothing. You hear me? Not a thing. You are it. Minus a fingernail. That's a humbling experience when you get ready to be like, hey, girl. Oh, hey, girl. Now you sitting over here giving the choir be quiet fist. Choir, that's the end of the song. Fist. Shut it. Fist. The Black Power fist, because, and you got to be careful with making a fist. You cannot get in a fight. You cannot get in a fight when you have nails. You can't. You can't get in a fight when you have on press-on nails, and you cannot get in a fight when you have acrylics. You cannot. Yes, you can get in a fight when you've got natural nails, and I'm talking about just your nails, nothing added to it. That's when you're ready for war, karate, empty hand. But some of you sisters, you ain't ready for no square up. You not ready to box. And I'm not condoning violence. I'm just saying, like, if you're walking and there's a group of girls and they be like, there she go, and you've got on, let's say, about 10 inches of nails on each finger, I hope you know how to run fast. I hope you don't try to stick around and talk shit and hold your ground. Fuck that pride. Get on up out of there, okay? Okay. Because when your nails pop off, it's cause for an alarm. And shout out to the sisters who carry glue in their purse, because the first time your nail popped off and you couldn't find it, or you didn't have any, or you found it and didn't have any glue to put on it, and you had to put it in the little zipper pouch of your purse to make sure that you didn't lose it. That nail. Shout out to the sisters who got glue and kept gluing and gluing and gluing and gluing and gluing and gluing and gluing to keep your nails on. Yeah, they look good about the first 2-3 days. Even some people like, oh, girl, let me see your nails. And you didn't even tell them that they was press on, because they look that good. But round about that 6th day, 5 face washes in, 10 showers in, ain't no more, ooh, girl, let me see your nails.
Pat, lots of people are asking themselves tonight to gel or not to gel. One dermatologist here in Studio City has some advice for all of us. Another woman, beauty queen Carolina Jasko from the Midwest, was getting her gel nails taken off and noticed a bruise on her thumb, a straight line up and down her nail, and then a week later, swelling. Carolina told her local news station it was melanoma. Studio City dermatologist Gene Rubenstein has seen a toenail like this in his office.
We know that acral lentiginous melanoma, which is the type of melanoma this was, is fairly uncommon, but it is seen, and we look for it when...
The last thing you want to happen to you is for you to go to the doctor because you're up against it. Something is wrong. You've faced reality. You've made the appointment. You're there. The last thing you want the doctor to do is come in and say, this is very uncommon. You don't want to be in the uncommon encyclopedia. the doctor's encyclopedia, we want to run some more tests on you encyclopedia. Do you mind coming to our laboratory later on so we could pull out the big petri dish? No. You know, like you don't want to have the uncommon diagnosis. You want something that some mercurochrome and some peroxide, little neosporin, and a Band-Aid can cure up. You ain't got time for no big old cast on your hand. People walking around talking about, what's wrong with you? Nothing at all. When you start crying like that, you know it's real. You in the trenches. Ain't nothing you can do about it but just pray and wait. Wait for the hem of his garment.
Somebody has a streak on their nail.
Some fear the UV light used to cure gel nails could cause cancer, calling the UV light a tanning bed for nails. Rubenstein isn't so sure after reading a study done on it.
It showed that, in general, we can say that ultraviolet light is so low, the exposure is so low, that in general it's safe with gel nails. It takes multiple exposures in order to have any danger. It's not the same type of exposure, you know, in terms of the exposure of UV as you would get, let's say, in tanning beds.
Carolina told reporters cancer runs in her family. Her mother had it twice and survived. The 21-year-old had surgery to remove her nail.
So the question is, was it a family history thing that she had, or was it due to the fact that she had gel nails? There's no way to know.
And the doctor says you should wear sunscreen or wear some gloves with the nail tips cut off to protect your hands. Also, you can ask your nail salon if they have a LED lamp versus a UV lamp. I'm Crystal Cruz, live in Studio City tonight. Back to you in the studio.
Woman says she will never go to the nail salon again.
She says she had a nightmare experience at a Greensboro salon, and she told WFMY News 2's Tahisha Moyes the trip left her with a fungal infection.
Now, we chose not to name the salon because we can't prove for certain she got the infection there. But there's still a lesson to learn from one customer's experience, and we want to warn you, the pictures are graphic. So this is what the woman's nails look like now. Red, puffy, and oozing pus. She says she got herself a dip powder manicure on October 17th. She says the nail tech cut her while filing her nails, then dipped her finger into the powder container and finished the process.
I noticed about a week later, after little spots come up, I tried creams over the counter. I soaked them in alcohol peroxide. It just kept getting worse.
And when her nails started to bleed earlier this week, she went to the doctors who diagnosed her with a fungal infection. Now, despite the name Dip Powder Manicure, nail techs in North Carolina are not supposed to put your finger into the original powder container. If several customers do this, bacteria can become a problem. Now, if you see this method at a salon, they're actually breaking the rules. The State Board of Cosmetic Art Examiners says once the powder comes into contact with the client, it has to be thrown out. Nail techs should divide the powder into a small container for each customer, and at that point, they can dip the nail in. But again, the leftover powder must be trashed. They could also use a brush to sprinkle powder over your nail.
Trip to the nail salon. Some Valley shops may be cutting costs, and it's customers who are paying the price. Contact 13 looks at what you need to know to protect yourself.
What a lot of the salons are using can cause contact dermatitis, can cause fungus, discoloration, deformation of the nail.
Tiffany Johnson snapped these pictures of customers' hands. She's owner of Soleil Nail Bar on Bermuda Road in Silverado Ranch. And Tiffany says clients walk in regularly with damaged nails and sore skin.
My nails were so raw that, and just to bend them, it hurt. I had to have people help me at work open things because my hands were so damaged.
Customers like Patty say it's a problem she's been dealing with for years. But that all changed once she came here.
Even after the very first time, there was a huge improvement in my nails.
And Tiffany has her suspicion about what...
Don't be like Patty. Patty was dealing with it for years. And then finally, after her fingers were about to fall off, Patty decided that she was going to do something about it. Didn't I tell you guys that if the neosporin, the peroxide and the alcohol ain't going to work, the mercurochrome, you've got a problem on your hands. You've got a problem, and you cannot ignore it. Too many times things happen and we ignore it, and it grows and it multiplies and it creates more problems because we don't want to deal with what the reality is. And the reality is there's something wrong with our nails, there's something wrong with our hands, and there's only a few places that you've been that you could link it to, and you don't want to wait years and years because you may encounter nerve damage, okay? You don't want your body to continue to be poisoned or be a breeding ground for any type of fungal infection. So if you see something that is off, if you see any type of allergic reaction or symptoms of an infection, do your due diligence and get to your local dermatologist or the ER, because there is a situation going on, okay?
It's hurting so many people, and she points to this liquid monomer.
It's the liquid that is mixed in with acrylic powder to make it hard.
Nail salons are supposed to use a safe liquid monomer called ethyl methacrylate, or
Doesn't monomer sound like a warlock? What is your name? Monomer. What? Monomer.
EMA. This is just one example. But Tiffany claims many shops are actually using methyl methacrylate, or MMA, which is banned by the Nevada Board of Cosmetology. But as you can see, it looks very similar in color. According to a leading supplier, direct contact with MMA can lead to nose, eye, and skin irritation, plus allergic reactions like itching or skin rash.
We've seen where hands...
Listen, the last thing you want is a rash. Last thing you want is a rash. Once the rash comes, we are at like stage 2 of this thing, and we've got to get a grip on it. Because, rashes require ointments, treatments, topical treatments in order to make it go away. Now, if we have a rash, we are now elevating to levels of a serious problem.
Have been cracked open where you can, it's blistering, it's really red. We've also seen nails completely deformed, yellowing.
So why would any salon use the wrong type of liquid monomer, the kind typically used in the medical field and for industrial use? Well, it turns out it's because it's cheap. Tiffany says you'll pay about $40 for a gallon of MMA, but shops like Soleil Nail Bar pay 7 times that amount, nearly $300 per gallon for EMA. But nothing is being done because customers like Patty don't know any better.
I thought I was just allergic to acrylic.
We're just trying to educate everybody and get the information out there. Nobody's complaining, and it's just going under the radar.
It's pretty nasty, isn't it? So here's the Contact 13 bottom line. If you think that you've been the victim of a salon using the wrong liquid monomer, file a complaint with the Nevada Board of Cosmetology. They tell us they're not getting complaints about this problem, but if they do, they will send an inspector to investigate. So now you know.
It looks like something needs to be done for sure.
Yeah, ladies thinking they're allergic. Yeah.
Thinks a manicure gave a woman cancer under her fingernail. Fox 35's Christina Pascucci explains how that happened.
Thanksgiving 2021. Mother of 3 Grace.
We don't celebrate Thanksgiving here at the Sister Speak Show. Just want you to know we don't do holidays at all. So, yeah.
Garcia had no idea a last-minute manicure was about to change her life.
This wasn't your normal nail salon. It was a new salon. I just did not want to go to my original place because they were booked. And the technician, as she worked on my nails, she was very aggressive with my cuticle. And I did notice at the...
Now, I think we can all testify to how rough some of them can be with our hands, to the point you're like, okay, and you can feel the attitude, you can sometimes feel the resentment, and the disdain that they even have for touching your hands. I'm not going to get into that element of the show. I'm going to stay on topic, but we all can testify that we have sometimes had a cut. It's been sensitive, and even when they put the certain polishes around the cuticle, that we felt that sting because they have gotten too low on our nail beds and around our cuticle area. And it's not a pleasant feeling. And it makes you kind of be like, this doesn't feel good. And you have to treat it even post going to the nail shop. And we see why.
And that the cuticle was raw and it just hurt a lot.
Her right ring finger would not fully heal.
It just looked like a blister.
Within 3 months, you knew something was seriously wrong.
It erupted, and I thought it was a wart.
And please forgive the background. The neighbor's dogs, they haven't gone to therapy this week, obviously. So this is what happens. That's why I try to wait till late at night to where we don't have these issues. But I'm keeping my window open because I like that nice breeze. So that's just what it is. But please forgive the background noise. Okay? Thank you.
What is this thing that's happened to my finger?
Her doctor sent her to a dermatologist who biopsied her finger.
On my way to the car from seeing him, they called me. So that scared me. And he said, we're going to have you come back.
Garcia then went to UCLA Health to see specialist Dr. Soleimani, who she says may have saved her life.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Something so simple as a manicure could have killed me.
She had a squamous cell carcinoma. Hers was caused by high-risk HPV.
So how does this happen?
In her case, she had a manicure done where she had an injury, and presumably so, there were some contaminated tools or some sort of entry of this virus. And the virus triggers this cancer to develop.
A lot of people think HPV is sexually transmitted.
It can be and is sexually transmitted, but much like any other viruses that need contact, anywhere where it can get into and under the skin is where it will replicate.
It's not clear exactly how many of these nail cancers are caused by HPV, but Dr. Soleimani says he's seen an increasing number of cases nationwide. According to the Skin Cancer Foundation and American Academy of Dermatology, up to 85% of squamous cell carcinomas of the fingers or nails are due to high-risk HPV. An estimated 80,000 cases occur worldwide. Dr. Soleimani says he's only seen a handful caused by manicures.
Rarely do we see high-risk squamous cell carcinomas arising from this, but I have had about a half a dozen patients with this phenomenon.
At Grace's final post-operation check.
How's the finger?
Better than ever.
Oh my God, this looks amazing. She had a very good outcome.
Dr. Soleimani has this advice.
Make sure you know the salon you're going to, and I recommend taking your own equipment if you can. Because of how frequently we're seeing high-risk HPV, I would recommend everybody who's of age to get the vaccine.
Thank you so much. I'm
going to give you a hug.
Thank you so much.
I'm Christina Pascucci reporting.
Did you know that the Sister Speak Show is a syndicated podcast on Amazon Alexa and Sonos? Tell a friend. Also let them know that the show is rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. Thank you for downloading each episode on demand.
Some women think they're stepping in the name of love when they're actually stepping in the name of danger. Meeting a man who says all the right things, doing all the right things, masquerading as an angel of light. Wanting access into the home, ready to be a father figure to your children because you're vulnerable, you're weak, you're desperate. He's charming. He's good at what he does. His past, you don't care about that because you're ready for your Mr. Right, even though he is Mr. Wrong. And things got different when he moved inside of the house. And he's not leaving anytime soon. Next on the Suspense Files, the step-boyfriend father. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. Who doesn't like to go on a shopping spree? However, There's another type of spree taking place, and it is targeting gallerias, department stores, shopping centers, and major cities. It's the shopping crime spree. What's the target? High-end fashion such as Gucci, Prada, Louis. Security is tight, surveillance is heavy. However, the grab-and-go mob mentality is overpowering all the protection of the product. People want to look good. People want to have the labels. They want to look like they're a part of the lifestyles of the rich and famous. It doesn't matter how they got it. They got it. But there is a consequence. Thou shalt not steal. Who's going to stop it? They don't care. In and out. Because if it doesn't have a label, they don't want it. Next, on the Suspense Files, a cautionary tale. High-end fashion crimes. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. There is a phenomenon taking over the East Coast, the West Coast, the dirty South, and everywhere else. Some consider it to be a culture, a way of life, a part of hip-hop. However, lawmakers, law enforcement, and some residents are up in arms about how to crack down on this culture. Next on the tour, where we cover every aspect of the music industry on the Sister Speak show. When calamity takes the wheel, street takeovers and street racing in the USA. Who's producing the soundtrack for this culture? Although she's smiling, she has a secret, and this secret could destroy the entire dynamic of the family. A man expects his child to be his child. He expects Junior to be Junior if he's senior. However, paternity fraud continues to run rampant. It is not yet a crime punishable by law, so women continue to get away with it, targeting men after men who believe that they are the father. That means that people believe that these are their nieces, nephews, grandchildren, and cousins. How can a woman celebrate a lie? Who's devastated in the end? The children. Next on the culture climate, the lineage leech. When paternity fraud destroys the family tree. You are currently listening to 911 After the Nail Appointment, allergic reactions and infections, plus how long is too long, highlighting nail length world records on the hair appointment, focusing on hair, skin, and nails for all shades of brown women on the Sister Speak show. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. Thank you for letting us be the flavor in your ear and for adding us to your podcast shuffle. Welcome back to the hair appointment, covering all things hair, skin, and nails for all shades of brown women on the Sister Speak on the Sister Speak Show Network. I'm your host, Sister Speak. The time is The time is 10:49 p.m. Central Standard Time, Dallas, Texas. How you feeling? How you living? How you breathing? How you vibing? Did you enjoy the clip so far? Did it make you think twice about how you're going to approach your next nail appointment? Were you looking at your nails? Did you see a bump? A rash? No? Good. That's what's up. It's all about wisdom, brothers and sisters. So the second part of tonight's episode on the hair appointment, we're going to be just a little bonus. We're going to be kind of, quick moment into the world of long nails and the fascination behind long nails, even to the point that some women have actually, and men, have entered into the Guinness Book of World Records for their nail length on both hands. It's really, really interesting to look at. Very amazing, to say the least. And if you're ever interested in seeing any type of videos, go ahead, look on YouTube, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to go ahead and get into the second part of this episode for educational purposes only under the Fair Use Act of 1976. Okay, for my brothers and for my sisters, just raising awareness about the culture of, for some people, of long nails. And by the way, I discovered, let me read this to you before I even get into this, because I thought this to be very interesting. I'm like, with this fascination of wearing, acrylics. Hold on one second. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of history. Let me turn this music down. Let me give you a little bit of history on fake nails. Got this off of Google. It's on Family Enterprise. It says as far back as 5000 BC, Egyptian women used artificial nails as a way to showcase their wealth and status. For Nails Through the Ages on Weebly, The History of Nail Art, it says in the 1930s to the 1950s, in 1934, the dentist Maxwell LePay created the first set of fake nails for clients who bit their nails. In the 1950s, a dentist named Frederick Slack broke his nail and experimented with chemicals and different materials to create an artificial-looking nail. So it also says during the 1920s, short, well-manicured round nails were a symbol of wealth. Revlon made their first appearance in 1932 with only one single product. This is off of Wikipedia. One single, let me see. Because I clicked on the website and now okay, so let me just read this part. Artificial nails, also known as fake nails, false nails, acrylic nails, nail extensions, or nail enhancements, are extensions placed over fingernails as fashion accessories. Many artificial nail designs attempt to mimic the appearance of real fingernails as closely as possible, while others may deliberately stray in favor of an artistic look. Artificial nails require regular upkeep. It is recommended that they are attended to on average every 2 weeks. However, they may last over 1 month. Nonetheless, their versatility in terms of shape, size, design, and comparatively high durability are some advantages they hold over other types of manicures. And so it says health effects, perceived benefits. This is some of the benefits. Well, we're going to talk about the health risk. Nail infection and damage to the natural nail. If fitted properly, artificial nails are usually not problematic. However, long-term use and poorly fitted nails can seriously damage the nail bed and hamper natural nail growth. Natural nails may become thin and weaken with frequent touch-ups. The most common problem associated with artificial nails is a fungal infection that may develop between the false and natural nail. Many hospitals, and I'm moving down some, many hospitals and healthcare facilities do not allow employees to have long fingernails, fake or real, due to the risk of said nails harboring microbes that could transmit diseases to patients. Infection can also be a risk when nails are applied by a disreputable nail salon that does not follow sanitary practices. So this is just a little bit, and then let me see right here. And so it says right here, a little bit of the history still on Wikipedia. During the Ming Dynasty of China, noble women wore very long artificial nails as a status symbol, indicating that unlike commoners, they did not have to do manual labor. Is that what it is, sisters? Y'all don't want to dig in some dirt. You don't want to tend to the garden and deal with your hands. No. In the early 19th century, Greece, In In the early 19th century Greece, upper-class women often wore empty pistachio shells over their nails, slowly spreading the artificial nail trends across Europe. Pause. When I went to visit my grandparents for the very first time, I remember eating some sunflower seeds and trying to pretend like those were my fake nails. So that is really interesting. The earliest experiments in resultant artificial nails used a monomer and polymer mix applied to the nail and extended over a supporting form. The structure hardened and, when support was removed, was then shaped to look like a natural extension of the nail plate. These dental materials were chemicals that came under the family name of acrylics. Thus the acrylic artificial nail was created. All materials subsequently used also belong to the acrylic family, but the term acrylic nails has stuck to the method of using a liquid monomer and powder polymer. In 1878, Mary E. Cobb opened the first manicure salon in Manhattan. This came after studying nail care in France and marrying podiatrist J. Parker Pray. During the 1920s, short, well-manicured round nails were a symbol of wealth. Revlon made their first appearance in 1932 with only one single product, long-lasting formula nail enamel. In 1957, Fred Slack, I already told you that part. So that's just it. There we have it. So now that we're going to get into it, how long is too long? How long is too long for you? Do you prefer short, medium, long, extra long, talon, fishing pole? What is your length that you prefer? And do you feel like it is déclassé to have a certain inch of nails? And do you feel like it's déclassé to have too much going on your nails? You know, there are a lot of sisters that love to hear the click-clack of their fingernails when they're typing especially. You ever heard a sister with some nails tight? Boy, after she comes from the shop, she's going to get all her work done. Not because she loves the job, it's because she loves to hear her nails on the keyboards. I mean, going at it. She used to only type 35 words per minute. Now that she got her nails done, 158 words per minute. Yeah, that's why she got the project done. Started at 9 and got it done at 9:15. It's the nails. It's the click-clacking of the nails. You know, when you're driving, gotta let the nails be seen. When you're on the phone, when you're pulling out your money, when you're eating, when you're taking your picture, the world will know that you got your nails done. Oh yeah, you're gonna let everybody know. Don't even try to pretend like you've got any type of humility and modesty about yourself after you get your nails done. You know you flexing your nails. You know you're letting everybody see your design and your polish and your this and your that. And you're going to type the shit out of something. Reports, done. Project, done. Everything done. Why? Because you just got your nails done. Let's get it. Let's go. You're a wonderful listening audience. I appreciate you so much.
The Guinness record for the longest nails in the world has changed hands.
A Minneapolis grandmother's fingernails are more than twice as long as the previous record holder. Maury Glover shows us tonight there's a heartbreaking reason, though, that she keeps them so long.
I thought somebody was playing a joke on me. I really did.
Everyone has something about them that makes them feel unique. But it doesn't take long to put a finger on what makes Diana Armstrong so special.
Well, I was like really shocked about it. Because I didn't think they were that long. But, other people say they long, but I didn't think so at the time.
Guinness says his 63-year-old grandmother has set a new record for having the longest fingernails in the world. Altogether, they measure 42 feet, 10 inches long, and take 24 bottles of polish and 2 days for her grandchildren to do her nails once a year.
Some people say, oh, they so beautiful. But then a lot of people will make faces, like this. And so I stay in the house most of the time.
Armstrong says she's always had long nails like her mother, but since her 16-year-old daughter, Letitia, who used to manicure Armstrong's nails every weekend, died from an asthma attack in her sleep 25 years ago, Armstrong says she can't bear to cut them.
Every time I thought about cutting them off, it would like give me chills, like I'm going through that grief all over again.
Healing is so important, especially when we lose somebody that we love. It is crucial to heal so we are not stuck at the scene of the incident. Sometimes we can hold on to things that we actually do need to let go of. It doesn't mean that you're creating an atrocity to a memory. It's just that we have to learn how to level up memories, and to the point to where memories do not bog us down. Okay? And I would encourage you to look at this video of this grandmother to see how long her nails are. I have not seen nails that long since the original woman who I became aware of, who became the record holder for having the longest nails. So I see the pain in her face. And when you don't heal, or when you are stuck in a certain cycle of the grief or a certain level of the grief, it can have you have a not so clear perspective on what you need to do, And she's able to walk with these nails as if they were like walking sticks. I don't know about you. I prefer short nails. I like to have long press-on nails, like if I'm doing a show or anything like that. It's an aesthetic. But at the beginning of the day, I do like the emancipation of my dexterity. I love to be able to have liberty in my dexterity. And it is par for the course to be able to not apprehend your own hands. Okay? So we're going to get into it. Keep going. We're going to keep going.
So I didn't want to go through that again, so I just keep them. And they're like keeping her close to me.
The length of Armstrong's fingernails can make it difficult to do many daily tasks, like picking things up from the floor.
If it's something on the floor, and if I can ball it up or pick it up, I use my toes. But if I got to pick up a phone or something, I'll take it.
I don't know about you, but I would be concerned that I'm not able to have emancipation in my mobility because of this. But I would also, wiping is serious. Wiping your bottom, wiping your vagina is serious. You have to get that. There's never a day after using the restroom that you don't have to get that. Oh yeah, getting that is a part of our hygiene, right? Right? It's a part of our hygiene. You have to get that because that is there until you get it. What is that, Sister Speak? Well, we're all mature, aren't we? We've been using the toilet for some time now, haven't we? That. You know what that is, and you need to get it. Because if you don't, what happens? Okay, you guys are so demure. I'm still a work in progress, so I'll say it. You know that if you don't get that, and if you continue to use the bathroom, and that continues to not be gotten, it continues to crust up, it continues to grow, and it turns into a berry, a dingleberry, and you cannot eat dingleberries. You know that. You cannot. You're not even supposed to grow them. They're illegal in all 50 states and in all continents. Dingleberries have been banned. You are not allowed to walk around with a near, not a near dingleberry. And if you don't get one dingleberry, it turns into a dingleberry forest, bush, mangrove, dingleberry grove. Because you can't get it, and it has to be gotten. Now your bottom has put a restraining order on you. Imagine that. Getting served to go to court, and you look to see who's serving you, and it's your bottom for neglect. Do we have to call the dingleberry police? Report people who you see with dingleberries. Now, let me kind of rephrase that, because you probably shouldn't be that close at all. At all. But not being able to wipe yourself, that's how walk by air was born. That's how sit down air was born. That's how what the fuck is that smell was born. It was born from not being able to get that. That's why televisits came about. The OBGYN said, I can't. There's not a mask. There's not an astronaut's uniform in the world that is going to allow me to help this person out. I didn't go to school for dingleberries. I didn't come to work to cut these down. Am I supposed to put these in a basket? Is this produce? You have to get that. I am not a fan of women who feel like hygiene is an option. If you hear a goat in the background, y'all know I live in the country, and it sounds like the goat is throwing up when I start talking about the damn dingleberries. Got a whole pie back there because you can't get that because of a hindrance. I want to know how you sisters are doing when it comes to getting that. How many wads of paper are you using? You got a whole oven mitt of toilet tissue on your hand just to wipe. And now it's so bulky that you can't even swipe up because the toilet tissue is stuck in between your bottom and the lid. Hey, I want to know how to get that session is going. Why nobody want to be my friend? Let me see your nails. Dingleberries, I'm telling you now. You look like you might have a case of the dingleberries. Coming to a not being able to get that bottom near you. Oh, I'm going in. Hey, you got to keep that Kemp down there. You've got to keep that together. And you cannot tell me, I don't care how you twist and turn your fingers looking like you in a gang trying to wipe your bottom. You got to throw up gang signs to wipe your bottom? What toilet you claim? What in the non-scrubbing bubbles is this? This is non-fabuloso. Just throwing panties away, left and right. Just talking to the trash cans. You get a pair of panties. You get a pair of panties. You get a pair of panties. Just, you can't keep throwing all these panties away, sis. At some point, you're going to have to cut your nails and come back into reality. Reality. I know why your husband want to sleep in separate beds. He like, look, only way we're going to figure out who these streaks belong to I've had it. You ain't gonna keep blaming me for this shit, Cheryl. I'm on a cleanse and a fast. I can't deal with this shit. Literally. And they always on your side, but you say but they mine. Them ain't mine.
Do them like this and pick it up.
But when it comes to keeping her daughter's memory alive, Armstrong has got it nailed.
When I started growing up, it went from being against record. And so now, since I am, I tell people, you shouldn't judge people because you don't know what somebody done went through.
In Minneapolis, Maury Glover.
I know what they've went through. Toilet tissue. Some of you all have given yourself new slits trying to wipe. It's just created a whole new opening for yourself.
Fox 9.
I mean, to see that picture too, and we all talked about this earlier today. The Guinness Book of World Records, you always remember the fingernail picture. It's
the tall people.
Yes.
The twins.
Yeah. I remember.
And now this.
Yeah, I know. It's incredible. And how do you keep them from getting broken?
There's a lot of how-do-yous. Lots of how-do-yous.
I know, because I break a nail like every week. Yeah. All right.
My name is LaRue Drummond, and I am known for my beautiful long nails. By the time I was 30, my nails were 3 inches long. After I broke up with my longtime boyfriend and my 4 children were grown and out of the house, I decided that this is me time and my nails, and I'm going to let them grow. To me, you may sound crazy, but they are really alive. This is Marla. This is Miss Independent. And this is Miss Attitude. And as you can see, she has a serious attitude. I love my nails. I will give myself 2 to 3 extra hours to get myself ready for the day. So if I have an appointment at 9, I will literally get up at 5 in the morning. I had to learn how to do things differently with longer nails. Where people use fingers, I use knuckles. I make a bed using my knuckles.
What in the prehistoric option is this? I'm going to use my knuckles. I got this. Nope. I'm going to keep these fingernails because ain't no man finna come near me again. After I kicked out James, that was it. She said after she broke up with James, I don't know his name. I'm just giving him a name. She sound like it was a James. After she broke up with James, she said, ain't nobody finna get next to me again and hurt me again. I'm gonna grow these nails, come at me again and watch what happens. Watch what happens. And she has to use her knuckles. Didn't I tell you, you got to throw up gang signs to get around town?
Most people use their thumbs or their fingers to text, but I use my knuckles. I open cabinets with them. My knuckles are my best.
Do you know how strong her knuckles have to be? She could probably knock the hell out of a door. If the police ever need somebody to knock on a door, they need to call her. Knuckle woman. You're going to come to the door. You will hear that knock. You hear me? If she knocks on a door in Kansas, they can hear it in Thailand. I'm telling you, when she goes to the door and knock, at the same time, somebody in Thailand finna go in and try to see who's at their door. Because they don't think that somebody knocking at their door. That's how loud a strong knuckle can knock. True story.
Best friends. Good morning, Miss Maria.
Good morning, Sooty. How are you?
I'm okay. My nail tech is Maria. I've been with her going on 5 years, and whatever I want done, she does them. She just like takes it to another level. I think they're really disrespectful when they ask how I go to the bathroom.
I hate that. I get that all the time as well.
Ma'am, I don't think it is disrespectful that we ask you how you go to the bathroom. We're not asking you how you go to the bathroom, as in, do you do something different as far as using the bathroom? We know how you go to the bathroom on level 1. We want to know how you're getting that. That's the question. They're asking you, how do you get that in the nicest way possible? They're trying to respect their elders. They don't want to be rude, but they are curious because they know that you have to, what audience? Get that.
Like, you don't even know me. You're going to talk about my hiney?
Why couldn't they say, how do you cook, or how do you make a bed? But that's always the first negative question that they ask.
So what do you say back to them?
I just tell them it's the same way that you go. I mean, it's only one way. This is how I go to the bathroom. I take the tissue, I place it in my hand, and it's mostly like I'm holding it in this area. And this is my hands here. You see where the nail.
It's giving back to front instead of front to back. It's definitely giving back to front instead of front to back. It's really giving a little 1, 2, and she's out of there. I don't think this is a long situation. This is giving, I'm finished.
They twist it back, and I wipe. I mean, it's the truth.
That's a good one. I'm going to start using that.
Same exact way. Like it's no.
It's giving graze. It's giving the toilet tissue grazes you. You know, like how somebody gets grazed by a bullet. It didn't go in, but it kind of like grazed you. It's giving grazing. Like people who don't have long nails like that, they wipe. But people with long nails like that, they graze. It's giving grazing. It's giving, for sure, grazing.
Different.
Hi, my name is Maria Ortiz. I am 42 years old. I live in Newark, New Jersey, and I am a long nail technician. We have this little pool we call the Long Nail Goddesses. Long Nail Goddess! Long Nail Goddess! It's probably...
I knew it. A gang. Didn't I tell you? Stick with this show. You'll go far.
There would be like 30 of us in there, so I could only do maybe 1 or twice a day. In between, I got to do the short nails as well. I'll do approximately like 15 girls with long nails a week. They see me more than they see their relatives, so we become bonded. I didn't even know nail fetish existed until I opened up my Facebook and Instagram account. They were like, can you drum the nails? Can you make the girls drum them? I was like, excuse me? I know a lot of guys love that. I get messages like that every day. I have to block some people. I have to, because it's like, this is not what is up.
Okay, so we done gone from OnlyFans to OnlyFingers. What is this? Where are we at? I mean, the side hustle buffet is so large. It is large. It is gargantuan. OnlyFingers, where you can log on and see women and their fingers. And if you pay a little extra, you might see some dingleberries.
Wow, it's about us, not about their fetish. Let's start with mahogany. Mahogany, a.k.a. Shaniqua Lacey. She's my client over 15 years.
Now, which one is it? Is it Mahogany or Shaniqua? I'm just asking. That's a whole lot of spelling.
And it just rubbed on her. And she's like, they do it, I'm going to do it. I'm about that life. And she became about this life. Tammy Drummond, she's the first lady of the group. And she's controversial because, you know, when you're in church, they don't want none of that lawn nails and stuff. And she's breaking old barriers. Good for her. Trinette Williams, she's a survivor. And this year we're going to do the cancer walk with her. Miss Kathy Jordan. She's not your typical white girl. She's my only white girl in the group, but her nails are the longest now out of the whole group, and her toenails as well.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now about them long toenails. That ain't cute. That ain't sexy. That ain't hot. I don't care who's requesting it. The whole talons look, catching food with your feet look. Now, you know after a certain time, them toenails are either going to curve to the left or to the right. You know that. And then that makes your toe take on a different look. Some people ain't ready for that. And I will stare because I'm always trying to figure it out. Always.
Cyan Lawrence, she's from Brooklyn, New Jersey, and she takes 2 trains and a bus and a taxi to get to me. Yeah, so basically it's like my clients is long-term.
She needs to learn how to teleport. I'm sorry. I'm going to find somebody a little bit closer. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make any of these appointments that are going to be in Australia when I live in New York. Are you kidding me? It sounds like she has to use a passport to get to her nail appointment. No, absolutely not.
We see each other for 2 to 3 weeks, so they see me more than they see siblings. When me and my long nail goddesses go out, we stop traffic.
The beauty can be high, and in the case of long fingernails, that could be a health risk. New studies show long nails could leave you vulnerable to fungus and bacteria that gets trapped underneath. Ew. One study even found MRSA, an antibiotic-resistant bacteria that can cause serious infections in hospitals. Researchers say you can transfer the bacteria into your system by scratching yourself, picking your nose, or sucking on your fingers. Okay, I'm going to go wash my hands now. Your mom always tells you to take your shoes off in the house. Well, now researchers say leave those shoes outside. They see leaving your shoes inside the house could bring in potentially harmful pathogens from outside. According to researchers, shoes can carry microorganisms that are drug resistant, including hospital-associated infectious germs that are really tough to treat. Toxic road asphalt residue and lawn treatment chemicals could also be tracked indoors. If you're not interested in walking around barefoot or socks indoors, researchers say some indoor-only shoes that never get worn outside. We call them house shoes.
I'm here in Houston, Texas, and I have the record for the longest fingernails.
Now, this is the original lady who had the record for the long fingernails. The first lady is the newest person to enter into the Guinness Book of World Records.
I'm going to share my tips for growing long nails. You must have patience. I started growing my nails probably about 23, maybe 24 years now. Next, endurance. You got to endure all the trials that you're going to go through with growing your nails. There are going to be some trials, trust me. You got to be strong. Your personality has to be strong because you're going to have a lot of people hating on you. They're not going to understand. Why would someone want to grow their nails that long? How do you do this? How do you do that? People just don't understand. In painting my nails, I use maybe 2 to 3 fingernail polishes. It just depends on what.
Ma'am, stop telling people that lie. Tell them that you use Sherwin-Williams. Would you please stop? Would you tell them that you go to Home Depot and get you some paint? That Sherwin-Williams is what you use, ma'am. You don't use regular polish. You use paint. Real paint. You use a real paint brush. You done graduated now. You are the T-Rex of nail appointments. And when you are in the T-Rex of nail appointments, you use gallons of paint from Home Depot or Lowe's or Sherwin-Williams. Okay? You use a paintbrush from Lowe's, Home Depot, or Sherwin-Williams. Okay? The people who do your nails, they wear Sherwin-Williams t-shirts, ma'am. Get a little bit of polish. Ain't no damn little bit of polish in your life. You getting gallons of paint, not pints. Gallons.
I'm going to do for that day. Well, not that day, for the month. And sometimes I do use base. It depends on the color. Like red, some polishes stain. So I try to stick with the lighter colors or the pastel colors. As you guys can see, I do use a hardener, and that's to help strengthen them. And it also helps keep them clean also, because I do put a small, very thin layer of acrylic underneath. And I use Tammy Taylor. I love her. And I use OPI. And I also use China Glaze. Nothing but the best for my nails.
She doesn't want to tell people she used Sherwin-Williams. It's okay. It's cool, sis. I get it.
The tips that I have for not breaking my nails, I stay out of crowds. I want people to give me 50 feet away from me. And I also have bodyguards with me sometimes. Yes, I do. When I'm out in the public. But if it's
And instead of bullets in their guns are dingleberries.
crowds, I will walk away in a minute. No, I cannot. We can't do crowds. If you have a nail that's broken, go ahead and reattach it. Get some glue. That's for nails only. And glue that nail back together.
It's really giving Gorilla Glue. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like you can't convince me that some regular 99-cent glue that I would use for my nail situation, you're using for yours. It's definitely giving maximum strength Gorilla Glue, Jungle Glue, Jurassic Glue.
Together, just like you would a puzzle, and then just buff it smoothly, and voila. Last but not least, love your nails like you would love any limb on your body. Take care of them the same way. Don't let nobody discourage you from being who you are. And guess what? I'm the new record holder. Yes.
World's longest nails just had them cut at Trinity Vista Dermatology in Fort Worth. They had to use an electric rotary tool, and this was the first time Ayanna Williams of Houston had her nails cut.
It would be my name. It just would be my name. All my life I had to fight. Why is her name Ayanna? Everything was going good. Everything was going great. Everything was just so peaceful and non-chaotic. And they had the nerve to say Ayanna? There's really only one, though. And this is the same woman who just was talking about all the tips for growing your nails, the former Guinness Book World Record holder. She's now getting her nails cut.
Since the early 1990s, they measured just more than 24 feet long, meaning a manicure took 3 to 4 bottles of nail polish over the course of a few days. Ripley's Believe It or Not is planning to display her trim nails at its Orlando museum. Williams is now only planning to grow her nails to about 6 inches long each nail.
If you don't throw that in the garbage and call it a DAY, You gonna put it where? Never mind. Let me be quiet. Mind my business. This is the policy of the Guinness Book of World Records. I will be quiet.
The record for longest fingernails ever on a pair of female hands belongs to Lee Redmond, 28 feet. She grew them from 1979 until losing them in an automobile accident in 2009, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. Katie Johnston for CBS and DFW.
Being able to pull back your sexual energy and have self-control in an area where you once didn't is an accomplishment. Being able to be focused because you are tired of the old you. Tired of the crying, tired of being disappointed, tired of being a part of the hit it and quit it, tired of the one-night stands, tired of being told that they love you when they really don't. They just wanted your sexual energy. You're also tired of telling people, no, you're not coming over and you will not be a booty call. You're serious about your celibacy. The feelings come and they go. Sometimes you're tempted and sometimes you're not. The overall objective is to remain celibate, but there are some people who don't care about your celibacy. Next on the vent session, pressed for pleasure. When your celibacy is tested, the dangers of being on demon time. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. The last thing that anybody has time for is to get sick. Nobody wants to be man or woman down, but this rash, the itching, the vomiting, the fatigue, you and your partner know that something is wrong. This is going to require a trip to the ER. You're about to find out that you are a part of the statistics. There is an outbreak, and you and your reckless decisions have caused you to put your life on the line. I know you want to turn back the hands of time because you did not envision your life ending up like this. Next on the culture climate, syphilis, the outbreak. From pleasure to prescription to peril. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. You made up in your mind that once you got to Hollywood, nothing was going to stop you. You were going to be famous and you were going to get a star on the Walk of Fame. You were willing to do whatever it takes to get your record deal, even if it means exploiting your God-given talents, even if it means hanging out late night with the who's who. Some people don't even have talent, but they're willing to do whatever it takes to get on. And many find out what the D in record deal really stands for. Next on the tour, surviving the producer's proposition. You are currently listening to 911 After the Nail Appointment, Allergic Reactions and Infections, plus How Long is Too Long, highlighting nail length world records on the hair appointment, focusing on hair, skin, and nails for all shades of brown women on the Sister Speak Show. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. Thank you for letting us be the flavor in your ear and for adding us to your podcast shuffle. Welcome back. The time has been well spent. It is 34 minutes after 11 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, Dallas, Texas. So we covered 911, After the Nail Appointment, allergic reactions and infections, plus How Long is Too Long, Guinness Book World Records on nail lengths. Listen, the time has been well spent, as I've just said. I enjoyed you as a wonderful listening audience. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I thank you for adding us to your podcast shuffle and letting us be a part of the flavor in your ear. You are a wonderful listening audience, and I appreciate you so much, okay? So stay tuned for another episode that is coming. I'm looking forward to keeping you all educated and full of some edutainment and having a little bit of edutainment as well. I hope you got some good laughs in, as well as, we're able to take away some wisdom about your nail care maintenance, lifestyle, how important it is, and that you don't put sacrifice in front of wisdom, that you really are cautious about where you go and the certain treatments that you have applied to yourself. Make sure you're inspecting the tools and just really just be your own board of health for your own safety, for sure. Okay? Anyway, brothers and sisters, keep pressing through. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Try not to check that "where's my refund" website too much. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. With that being said, I've got something I want to play for you, and we're going to segue on out of here. So let's get the formalities in the way. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer, my God, my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation. Blessed be the name of the Most High God. All praises, all honor, all glory are due to the Most High God. Thank you for your only begotten Son, Lord Yahweh Shai. I thank you so much. I thank you so much for my wonderful listening audience. Thank you for giving me the opportunity yet again to be able to get on this microphone and to be able to walk in my purpose. It is a joy divine. All praises, all honor are due to you, Most High God. In your Son, Yahweh Shai's name, I always pray. Okay, got something for you. And you have a blessed night or day, whatever time you're listening to this, on demand. You've made it to the last part of the test, the season of drought, and you survived. You're going to pass this test. You're going to climb the mountain because on the other side of the mountain is peace.